Okay, we are now at the penultimate episode for the Yohanime, episode 12. Of course, episode 13 will be the ultimate episode. So we'll have to see what happens in that episode. Of course, we saw it a little bit in the last episode where things got a little more dramatic, and they were calling this episode Farewell Laelaps. So we will have to see what that means. Of course, if you want to watch the episode in full, Crunchyroll is the main source. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the episode. So if you remember before, Yohane threw her staff into the water and it kind of sank, but it didn't sink because it rose to the top, I guess, at some point, and Laelaps retrieved it. So we're going to get a lot of flashbacks in this episode, and there's a lot of symbolism in here, and Yohane is talking about how she felt so special and all that magic, but in reality, she's not special, and that's why everything seems to be going wrong. And they show things where, like, saying some old stuff that's happening way back then. But currently, things is a disaster right now. People are evacuating, and everyone's trying to keep calm, but everyone just needs to evacuate. Laelaps wasn't feeling super well because she kind of almost drowned, but Riko tells Yohane that she'll be fine. And then one of the kids came crying to the girls saying that Nami and Sakura are in trouble. So they try to figure out what happened, and the main thing you get from her is that she's saying it's her fault, and that really corresponds well to Yohane, who feels like, you know, she's at fault for this whole entire thing. So she goes out, finds them in the miasma, and she sees that they're holding the flower, but then while she's there, she kind of gets that ring thing again, and then she passes out as well. Nothing really happens beyond that, beyond the fact that Laelaps kind of wakes up a little bit while the girl is sleeping, but the rest of the girls end up finding Yohane on the ground and bring him back. Sure. But they did find the flower. I'm not entirely sure what it meant, but they did find that flower. But then when they come back, Laelaps is gone, so now they gotta figure out where Laelaps is. So they go run around the town looking for Laelaps, and Yohane ends up going back home and saying, you know, where the heck are you, Laelaps? And she starts thinking about a lot of past memories that she had with her, saying that, oh, I'm going to use some magic and make it so my dog can talk, and boom, magic, and all this stuff happens. And then she's like, no, I'm just kidding, I don't actually cast magic. But then Laelaps talks to her, saying, you know, I really like when you sing. As far as I can tell, the fact that, you know, they're saying that she didn't actually have magic is that Laelaps could talk the whole time. She was just pretending just to make her feel better. And then they go on having more and more flashbacks a little bit later. This is showing that, you know, Yohane was saying, I want to go to Tokai, but Laelaps like, do you really though? You might end up hating singing because you might fail. But Yohane gets mad at her and says, you know, screw you. I'm going to go do it anyways. Then we go back to the present, and then we find back at that tree stump where Laelaps is staying next to, and Yohane is like really happy to find her and saying, you know, I'm sorry and all that. And they go and say how they really need each other, and, you know, at times where they're saying, I don't need you, you don't need me, or whatnot, but basically they're saying, you know, that even though they're grown up, they don't have to grow apart, and that what they need is each other, and grown up doesn't mean you can't still be or you don't have to be separated. So she goes and tells them, you know, welcome home officially, and the magic glows on the staff, and that's kind of has all the magic bonds, and magic happens, and boom, the place looks all better now. And that actually leads to the song for this episode, Forever You and I. So let's get a preview of that one. So for those of you who are still complaining about Yohane getting more solos, well, here we go. We got another Yohane solo here. This one being Forever You and I, talking about how that she and Laelaps can forever be together. And they show a lot of nice, pretty imagery where Laelaps going around. No, she doesn't sing in it. So that's probably a pretty dead prediction. But that was just all jokes. But it goes to show you kind of the relationship they had, and beyond the really nice imagery, it looked really cool. And they also had that feather that showed up, which of course, you know, the feather has a pretty important symbology throughout Love Live, where, you know, we had Honoka with the feather and Chica and so on. So it was nice to see that as well, but just another nice pretty one overall. And it's definitely more of the intense kind of song, more the Yohane that we know, and not like this Yohane, but the darker side of Yohane. But honestly, a pretty good song overall. So then after that song, they basically say that the staff is just the bonds with the girls, and that's kind of it. The staff itself isn't actually magical. Honestly, that's pretty dang cheesy, but like, I have bonds with other people, but I don't get magic, so why is your bond special? But anyways, the last thing they show you is this scene. It's just an overview of the city and whatnot, but that's it. So we'll have to see what that means. And then they have a preview of the final episode called Once Again Today. So they kind of show it off where I imagine this is the stump where Yohane was, and they kind of show something growing from it. So I'm guessing that must be a, you know, dead stump from a really old tree, and eventually new life is growing out of it. So imagine what the symbolism for that could be. You know, something that's dead can lead to new life or something like that. So we'll definitely have to see what that means. But that will be the last episode. So I guess let me know your final predictions in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen? We only got one episode, and the whole thing about miasma and it kind of messing up the town, like, it never feels like they ever really directly tackle it. It's kind of like, oh, it's a bad thing. It's bad, and it does bad stuff, like make animals mad, I guess, and occasionally make people faint for some reason. But that's it. I'm failing to see the extreme danger that it has and why it's extremely problematic. Yeah, it's not good. Don't get me wrong. It's clear, but it almost feels like it's just like a really bad storm and a few animals get mad. But like, that's it. It's like, what truly is the antagonist here? I'm failing to see that. They have their own problems here and there they're trying to resolve, but the whole this drama that they built up with, ooh, this dark scary storm and all that, just, I don't know, it just seems kind of lame and like a letdown. Like, the build up and then just there's nothing there once you get to the top. Doesn't seem like there's some evil thing behind it. It's kind of like, it's a thing that happens sometimes, I don't know, and it's magically get fixed by love and friendship and bonds. Woo, that feels really cheesy. So I don't know how much high expectations I have for this, because it just feels like, you know, Yohane and Laelaps, they make up, they're friends, they're going to be friends going to the future, and the man just disappears. I mean, that almost feels like what's going to happen, and that's going to feel kind of lame. No big battle, no, I don't know, they might have a song, I guess that's what I'm expecting. There probably is one more song for the Yohanime, and it's probably all the girls in Aqua singing, and we beat it. The miasma, everything's solved, Numata saved, let's sing song, everything's great, woo, fairy tale ending. I don't know, that's kind of what it feels like. There was just a lot of hope and potential to think, oh yeah, this is going to be suspenseful and it's going to be dark and all that. And then just, nope, lol, not at all. So, I don't know, I feel a little bit disappointed by that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Let me know your predictions and how you feel about how this is currently going. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Oh, and I hope to catch you guys in another video soon.